Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into the channel. So I've been getting a lot of inquiries lately about good, decent investment options within or close to a budget of $1 million. Now, considering the market situation, that question is getting harder and harder to address. But in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 picks that I believe are good projects within a small ticket investment to look into, which can offer you a good value for money, both in midterm and long-term prospects as well. So let's jump right into it. So before I actually specifically jump onto the 3 projects that I have shortlisted in my analysis, I'm actually going to give you a general idea of what the market has typically always looked in terms of apartment investments. So for example, as we all know, Business Bay and downtown over there, Dubai Marina over here, and also parts of JLT have always been the hotspots when it comes to the top investment options in terms of apartments. But one particular area that has done consistently well over the past many years and is more relevant for our discussion for the amount of budget that we are looking at is in fact Jumeirah Village Circle over here. Now, JVC or Jumeirah Village Circle is a Nakheel community, as you might know. It was launched back in 2005, and the master developer happens to be Nakheel, but Nakheel has sold multiple plots over there to smaller private developers who have been building many products over the past many years. Now, JVC is this huge parcel of land that consists of many districts. It has been one of the oldest apartment communities to exist, which is why it has always attracted a lot of demand as well. For example, just to give you some idea about 2023, this is how the market looked in terms of apartments, off-plan apartments. So JVC topped the list in terms of off-plan investments. There were close to 10,000 units that were sold in last year alone. The prices, of course, touched about 1,200 dirhams per square foot. Now, in terms of ready apartments as well, JVC was just behind Dubai Marina, close to 4,000 units sold. Now, that goes to show you two things: and the demand that is out there in the market, and also the sort of supply that is about to hit, which I will discuss in just a bit. Now, JVC has, as we've discussed, been a hotspot for smaller ticket investment, especially apartment options, over the past many years. But not only that, the effects of JVC have also sort of rippled on to areas like Arjan, which happens to be somewhere here, and also all the way here in Majan as well, where we are now seeing a lot of new projects being launched. But the thing is that JVC right now has about 15,000 units at least that are in circulation in terms of supply, which is going to hit the market in terms of off-plan units I'm talking about. There are, of course, similar number of units that exist for ready apartments as well. But in terms of off-plan units, we are looking at around 15,000 units that will be hitting the market in the coming years. These 10,000 of these units, as I've discussed, were released last year. Some were released back in 2022, some in 2021. So we could potentially see some sort of an oversupply situation in JVC. But for now, prices continue to rise. Prices in JVC currently are around 1,200 dirhams per square foot. This is a considerably higher number, keeping in mind that a lot of buildings in JVC are way older and they're much cheaper options as well. So if you compare it to the newer options these days are launching somewhere between 1,400 to 1,500 dirhams per square foot. So that's what we are looking at in terms of pricing. But this, of course, is an aggregate average number. So that goes to show you what sort of market situation we are looking at. Similarly, in Arjan as well, we're looking at similar price point, 1,200 dirhams per square foot. But still, as I said earlier, I think JVC is sort of entering into a situation where we could see some sort of a market saturation. There are thousands of units that already exist, thousands in circulation already, and even then there is a new launch being done almost every other week by one developer or the other. So one has to be quite particular about what sort of project they're investing into, and within JVC what the location happens to be, because some locations it takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to just get out of the community and onto the main highway. So you have to be very particular about what you're getting into now. I would be careful at investing into any project in JVC. I think the good developments, for example, there's a new project being launched by Ellington now, but the price points there are I think astonishingly high for a product, even for a LinkedIn's quality in JVC. So I would be very careful about what I am investing into. Paying close to 2 million dirhams for a 2-bedroom for a market like JVC, where users would have plenty of other options much cheaper to choose from as well. I think it's a little bit of a risky situation to get into. Which brings me to my preferred area of choice, where I think a lot of this demand is going to get absorbed into, and which still has not grown as much and still is massively undervalued. And that area happens to be Al Furjan over here. Now, Al Furjan is where we are still looking at prices close to 1100 dirhams per square foot. Just to give you some idea, first of all, Al Furjan is also a master community by Nakheel, close to, right next to, in fact, to Discovery Gardens. And the gardens, these two communities are some of the oldest communities that Nakheel has built, and massively occupied, very densely populated as well. And Al Furjan happens to be right next to them. Now, Al Furjan is this huge parcel of land that you're looking at here. It is further partitioned into areas that are only meant for villas, standalone villas, or townhouses. And then a very limited parcel of that land is actually dedicated for apartment buildings. So this brings us to a very interesting equation in terms of how limited the supply is eventually going to be, and is going to be far less than what we are looking at JVC right now. Just to give you a broader idea of the location, you are here. This happens to be Al Furjan. You are here close to Sheikh Zayed Road as well, Mohammed bin Zayed Road here. Dubai Marina and JBR Beach happens to be about 10 to 15 minutes away. So areas like Dubai Media City, Dubai Marina, Barsha are also very close by, very easily accessible areas. Plus, Al Furjan is linked with metro as well. I mean, a lot of people in JVC are investing on the premise that there is going to be a metro connectivity in the coming 4 to 5 years as per RTS plan. But in Al Furjan, we already have that, which is a huge plus point to consider. Now, in order to understand the master plan a little better, this is what you're looking at. This, as I said, is your Discovery Gardens. This is your gardens. The gardens and Discovery Gardens have tens and tens of buildings. A lot of these buildings are very old. The amenities are not at par with what you would get in newer projects, but a lot of demand there. And a lot of people, I think, just on the edge of opting for better options if they do happen to be within a reasonable price range. So this is where Nakheel is building Talal Al Furjan. This is where Muruj is coming up. This is where Muruj West is coming up. This is also where a lot of villas and townhouses are being developed by private developers. This, of course, right here is Kurtaj. For apartments, you only have these two stretches of land, one over here and the other one over there. Now, this is called Al Asail Street, and this is called the Gardens Boulevard. And Al Asail Street does not really have direct connection to metro. Metro happens to be situated, as you might be able to see, one metro station here, another one over there, and another one over there as well, which you probably won't be able to see right now. But so Al Asail Street is not directly connected to metro in terms of it's not a walking distance to the metro stations, but still we have seen a lot of projects being launched here, being sold out, being received really well by the market. But my preferred area of choice happens to be along this road, which is the Gardens Boulevard, which is right next to the Discovery Gardens and right next to the metro stations as well, where if you invest in the right product, you would literally be about a 5 minutes walk away from the metro, which I keep insisting on is a huge plus point, especially for this market segment that we are looking at. So the project that we are going to be focusing on, it's called Floria Vista, and the exact precise location happens to be here, right next to Discovery Gardens. As I said, there was another project by a developer called Prescott here, Serene Gardens 1, then Serene Gardens 2 here. There are another couple of projects being made right next to Floria Vista. My preferred product would be Floria, which is coming here. All things considered, considering the payment plan, considering the pricing, considering the location, this is what I would be looking to invest into. Now, this is what it looks like in terms of the exterior facade of the building. As you might be able to see, this is a like very modern looking building, a lot of glass paneling, a lot of, and even when we look into the amenities that we're going to offer, it really stands out. So this is, I think once it's completed, it's going to be one of the best buildings that would exist in the vicinity. In terms of sizes, you're looking at studios, one beds and two beds only. These are the only three options. Studios starting at 420 square foot and one bedroom plus study. This is what I want to really point to. So this size, 800 to 900 square feet, is a very luxurious size for a one bedroom. Now, just to give you some idea, for example, Shoba has recently launched a product called Orbis in Motor City, where the one plus study layout is close to 600 square feet. But here you are finding something which is at least 20 to 25% larger than that. And anything for a one bedroom that you can find with that sort of an area is honestly a luxury product in this market. The pricing is quite decent as well. You're looking at a starting price of 600,000 to get invested into the project. That's for studios. The one bedrooms are starting close to 1 million dirhams. You would be able to find a decent option close to 1 million. And then for two bedrooms as well, I think it's a very decent price point. I've studied the layouts. I've studied the floor plates as well. Two bedrooms also make a lot of sense. My preferred choice would be either a one bed or a two bed. This is what the renders look like. This is how the building is expected to turn out. So they have got a lot of wall paneling going on, which comes with the apartments. The apartments come with all the white goods. So they're not doing any compromises on the quality of product that they are planning to deliver. They also have a show apartment ready in their office. And if you are interested in having a look, we can book a slot and go and have a look and discuss what sort of materials and finishing we are looking at. This is what amenities look like. Brilliant. The payment plan is also very easily spaced out. You pay a 20% booking, and then, of course, your payment continues. Your payment plan continues. This developer is really solid as well. This is their second project that they're doing. The first one was called Floria Residence, which was launched in Rajan last year. All sold out. They are moving very fast in terms of developing that as well. And now this is going to be the second product that they're going to come up with, and they are taking EOIs at the moment. We have done a few bookings for our clients recently. So if you would want to discuss this more, I would definitely highly recommend it. Get in touch with me. We can discuss what sort of unit types to look for, what sort of floor plans to look for, and which would be the best option for you to get into considering your budget. On my list, option number 2 happens to be somewhere here. And if you do move further down south on Sheikh Zayed Road, this is what you come at. This is called Jabal Ali Downtown, right next to Jafza. Jafza or Jabal Ali Free Zone is where there are hundreds and hundreds of offices, warehouses, factories, a lot of businesses that are existing there, and thousands of people working there at the moment. And I think close to Jafza, this happens to be the only area, Jabal Ali Downtown is the only area which is the closest to Jafza and which is sort of seriously lacking in good quality products. There happens to be a building by Azizi. Azizi, of course, is not a top-notch developer, or not a very high-end developer. Still, I've seen the demand for that building grow a lot, just because of the fact that that happens to be the only considerable project to look at in that entire area. So Dayar is coming up with a project there called Leaf. Actually, not coming up, they've already launched it, sold, I think, a lot of floors in the project already. This is what the renders look like. And sizes are similar to what we saw in the other project. One bedrooms, some one bedrooms are quite spacious, and the pricing also happens to be close to 1,000 dirhams per square foot. A very decent price point to get into. Now, this will easily be one of the top-notch products to exist in the area once it's completed. The best part is the sort of payment plan that they are giving. So if you are looking for something where you can get in with a long-term payment plan, I think this is an ideal product. Dayar has been known to give very long-term post-handover payment plans as well. And this is exactly what they're offering right now. for 30% post handover payment plan, and around 70% you pay during construction. The handover is going to be in 2027. I think this is a solid product to consider. The only downside right now would be perhaps the fact that there is not much of a community that you would expect a residential complex to have right next to it. So this area still has, I would say, some industrial feel to it. But even then, I think by the time the project is delivered, completed, you would be looking at a good, decent community to have developed around the project as well. Option 3 is actually an entire community that I am a big fan of. It's called Nashama. Is, I think, the most affordable gated community in the market right now. So not a lot of communities, gated communities, that have a lot of apartment options. Yes, there are options such as Tamak Hills, but then the price points become completely different. And the Sharma Town Square actually happens to provide you with very decent options if you want to invest in apartments that are within a gated community. But then again, you have to be very particular about which product you are investing in within the community, because there is a lot of supply in the that already exists, a lot of different buildings, and then a lot of buildings that are planned to come up as well. Broadly speaking, this is what the master plan looks like. This is where you saw most of your townhouse establishments took place, and right, this happens to be the community park, and there are residential buildings being built around it. Most of these projects have already been launched. There was a recent launch over here called FIA, which I think they still have some inventory in. There was a launch prior to that called Kaya, and all of the prior launches have been successfully sold out, by the way. In terms of pricing, you are looking at a price point close to 1,000 dirhams per square foot. Again, this is a very hard to find price point when it comes to apartments within a gated community. So you need to understand that the Sharma is already a mature community with a lot of amenities, a lot of infrastructure already in place, thousands of people living there, and yet you are able to invest into something with a price point close to 1,000 dirhams per square foot. Although we've seen a considerable increase in the past year, but still I think it has got a lot of room to grow. The rental yields have also interestingly increased, close to a 20% increase. Just to give you a comparative idea, close to it is Damac Hills, where the apartment prices are close to 1,250 dirhams per square foot. So there is an immediate jump of about 25%. That is what you're looking at. Nashama, for some people, the main challenge is the location, but I would say that the location is something which a lot of end users would like to overlook, even if it's slightly longer travel time from their workplace, their schools, their offices, if they're finding a good, decent community, gated community to live into. In terms of renders, the buildings look fairly simple. One thing Nashama has done is increase their floor plans. Their initial apartments did not just have a very good, decent floor plans, very tiny, small apartments, very compact. But I think now they have taken into account that the sort of the likings that the customers, especially the end users, have in the market, and they have adjusted their floor plans now. So now you're looking at very decent sizes. For example, you're looking at a size of about 1,190 square foot on the higher level for a 2-bedroom, and this is a very decent size to consider for any end user in terms of a 2-bedroom. The prices, as we've discussed, close to 800,000. I think slightly less than 800,000 where the starting prices are. But for a decent unit that I would recommend to my clients, you're roughly looking at 800,000 for a 1-bed and close to 1.2 or 1.15 million for a 2-bed. And then 3 bedrooms are, of course, 1.6. Very easily spaced out payment plan as well, 50-50 payment plan. So you end up paying half of the investment at the time of keys, which means that you can also get a mortgage on it. So this was a basic summary of the top 3 projects that I have in my list at the moment. This is, of course, again, not for perpetuity. This is for March, April 2024. This is the time frame we're looking at. I will also keep you updated with more projects if and when they come by. If you would like to discuss investing into any of these projects, then drop me a text, reach out to me through WhatsApp or call me, and we can definitely get on a call, discuss. I can also present you with I've actually done for some of my clients studies onto these 3 projects, particularly in terms of pros and cons. I can share those with you as well. And we can discuss the most amenable project to look into, considering your preferences. Yeah, and if you would like me to discuss any other property types, any other budgets for future videos, drop me a comment and I will be sure to take that into account as well. Thank you very much and see you again soon.